Good morning, my knitters. Happy New Year. I'm Karen. This is Recreational Knitting, and this is now January the 4th, 2025. Wow. Here we are. I hope your new year was safe. I hope your new year was restful, and I hope that you're making a few knitting goals or finishing up some WIPs or doing some selfish knitting. You know, January is the month of selfish knitting, so make sure you do it. Yeah, you're knit-worthy, just like everybody else. Okay, so let's get to this. I have no WIPs today, but I am wearing my Autumn League pullover. This is made in Knit Picks. It's a recycled, no, it's an alpaca wool viscose recycled mix. And it was something that they had about 2 years ago, and it was going to be limited. And so I bought 2 sweaters worth. I've made 1 sweater. So it's a bit warm to wear alpaca, except for today. Today is pretty chilly out there. Yeah, I think it was, it dipped into the 40s last night. So yeah, I'll have to take this off by noon, but that's okay. I can wear it this morning. Feels pretty good. So I have no finished objects. I am working on lots of things. Haven't done a whole lot on some things, but a lot on others. So let's get into it. Before I get into what I've worked on this week, I want to show you 2 more WIPs that I found in a bag when I was cleaning. You know, underneath the furniture kind of thing, got underneath my chair, and you know, the rest is history. One of them is going to come out. I'm going to pull this out later. This was a scarf that I kind of cast on and did, and for my son-in-law, just a 2x2 rib. He was very cute. He said he just wanted the striped scarf. He meant ribbed. So yeah, but I'm going to rip this out and make it a little wider and give it to him for his birthday. So I haven't gotten very far with that. This is made with worsted weight. I'm not sure what the exact yarn is called, but it is a 75 merino, 25% acrylic, so he can, you know, superwash, so they don't make, you know, Barbie size scarves out of everything. So that's a WIP that I found. Another one, here it is, underneath something else. This was a cowl that I started for my daughter, and I'll show you the pattern, but I didn't get it finished for Christmas. And it's just a simple basket weave kind of cowl. And it's called the Apprentice Cowl by Nacha Gonzalez. It's really pretty. I love that orange. It's very lovely. I'm making hers out of this LRA, and this is how far I got with it until I decided, oh, I'm not going to be able to get that in the mail before December the 11th. So yeah, so I have 2 balls of that. They look pretty messed up because they were underneath the chair. So I'll get those back into somewhat working order, and I might work on that this afternoon. Yeah. So those are 2 other WIPs that I need to work on. Yeah. All right, this next WIP, I don't think I put a progress keeper on it. Oh, I did. I did. This was the last time I showed you, so I've done maybe about 4 rows. This is the little Ponchette from my store, my yarn, local yarn store. Didn't I call it my yarn store last time? It's called the Marlene Corner to Corner Ponchette. And I think if you emailed, it's not on Ravelry. I did look. It's not on Ravelry. But if you emailed the owner through her website, which is shesellsyarn.com, I think she'd probably send it to you because it's a free pattern. I hate to say that, but you know, but I think she would. That's what it's almost to the end of the first. You can kind of see this through it. And this is called Marlene, and I lost the tag, but I have it on the other one. But I'm about almost halfway through. And then you put a little asymmetrical twist to it. So you don't, you know, put the hole right in the middle, but it's towards the side. And, you know, you have something to put over, you know, like a linen dress or something that just kind of makes it a little more special, you know, or something that you might wear to a wedding or something like that. So yeah, not a whole lot of change in that, but I am getting, you can see where the cardboard of the, so I'm getting towards the halfway point. And that is living in a fat squirrel bag, which I really love. I love this bag. This is one of my favorites. I say that about a lot of them though, don't I? Yeah. So that's one of my WIPs. Now this one is a special one. I think I showed you last time. This is by Color Work. This is called the Dark Sky Neck Warmer. And I'm now past the halfway point, and you really can't see it, but now the purple is going to be the dominant. And basically all dominance is when you work color work is holding it in a different manner. So anyway, I worked a little bit on that this week. This is where I was last time. So I've worked a few days on it. I can only do about three rows at a time before I start feeling myself tense up, because it's a lot of counting and I'm not good with counting, apparently. Maths are not my friend. Yeah, I had to rip out, like, I'd be way ahead. Let's just put it that way on this. I'd be way ahead. So I will continue to work on that because my local yarn store, Helen, the owner, does what we call Wacka-WIP, or what she calls Wacka-WIP. I don't call it that, but that's her terminology for it. And it is a sheet of paper. I think I showed you last year, if you're been with me. And let me get that to show you. Thanks for holding on. I thought I had it here and it was back behind me. This is the 2025 Wacka-WIP. If you go to the website, shesellsyarn.com, you can create an account and download this, and she'll send it to your email. Now, you will get emails from her shop, but if you're okay with that, I mean, you can unsubscribe later. But this is free. I mean, it's a list, is basically what it is. And she's got the project name, month, notes, finished or frogged. And what she does is, on Facebook, she has WIP Wednesday morning about 9:30 each week. She goes on and talks about the WIPs that she's been working on that week and shop news and all kinds of things. But at the first of the month, the first Wednesday of the month, she has a little spinning wheel, you know, thing that picks numbers. And in January, it was the number 4. So on my number 4, I am working on the purple and white cow, which I just showed you, the color work, and then the octopus's garden, which I haven't picked up yet. I want to finish one before I do the other. I want to try to double up on some smaller things, and you'll see, maybe, hopefully, that like number 1 is just my brown cardie, because that's, you know, it's a bigger project. But, you know, for example, the blue cow for Kate, and then the carnival shawl, I've got, those are in the number 8. So whenever that comes around, if those haven't been finished, I can work on those both. So that's what I've been doing, and it has been helping. So I'll be working on this until it's finished in January. I'm enjoying it. I really am. I could use it this week. All right. Now, this seems to be the year of the sock. Stephen West is doing one. There's all kinds of podcasters out there doing, you know, year of the socks, Socksy if you know it, Little Like Hack, Socksy, Nana Alice, and the Big Pink Bathtub are doing a socks knitting along all year long. So, you know, I finished my Advent socks. What am I going to do? Cast on some new socks. Of course I do. I think I showed you the start of those last week. And these I'm knitting 2 at a time, not on the same needle. Not unless you want to see me lose my mind. All right. What is it that yarn does when you put it in a project bag very neatly and you pull it out very carefully, and yet it's like they've had a drunken orgy? I don't know what it is, but let's try to get these separate so I can show you some progress. Here we go. We're getting there. Holy moly. Am I the only one that has this problem? All right. I can't be. I can't be the only one. All right. Jeez. All right. This is just a simple 3 by 1 rib. As you can see, that's where I was on this sock, this particular sock last time. I barely cast it on. And this was where I was on this sock. So I've made some pretty good progress on those, what, 4 days, whatever. I think New Year's Eve is when I showed you these. So yeah, I've made a little bit of progress. I feel good about it. I'll be maybe another inch, and I'll be looking at starting a heel flap gusset and doing that. So these will probably likely be my first pair of finished socks for 2025. Now, do I dare put them back together so they can do what they do? It's like, it's, you know, you almost want to have like 2 bags. You do this. All right, I put them in there. They're not touching. There's pockets in this bag. So there's a pocket for one, a pocket for the other. I know that when I pull them out, they're going to be all messed up. Yeah. All right. What's next? Oh, I'm keeping this project in my beautiful bag from Pauline, who sent this to me. This is what she sent me for a little gift. Isn't that cute, a project bag? And it has a little notions pouch in it. So cute. Love it. I got to get my stitch markers in there soon because I'll be starting to heal. And this is, again, for all those sock-alongs and whatever. This is a real plain vanilla sock, but the challenge is black. Yeah, this is going to be fun. It's not bad yet. Not bad yet at all. I think that the challenge will be picking up those stitches on the gusset. I thought about making that one that just has a ribbed heel that opens up, but then I thought, no, let's just make a real sock that fits well. So this is some yarn that I picked up from an Etsy shop. It's the reason I have black yarn is when we were in Newport, I had black slacks, and we were going out to eat dinner, and I went to put socks on, and all I have are my crazy, hand knit socks that are, woohoo, and look like a party on my feet. So wasn't going to do that. And I thought, I got to get some warm socks that are black. Well, I'll just knit them, but black yarn. So this was kind of like, oh, I think I could do that with the little dots. I'm not sure. There's really no pattern to it that I'm aware of. It's 80% super merino, 20% nylon, 400 yards. So it's a heavier fingering than some. And this is an Etsy shop. WIP yarns. And the base is Twisty Toe. And the colorway is Cats and Bats. Appropriate. It was likely a Halloween yarn. And this is what it looks like. It's not quite every sew. It's a little less measured, which makes for a design that's probably not entirely symmetrical, which I like. I like it a lot. So that's WIP yarn. So if you're interested in finding some black yarn to make some black socks, there she is. I don't know the owner's name. Do I? I don't. But she's also on Instagram as WIP Yarns, W-I-P Yarns. So check it out, see what you think. But yeah, I'm doing these 2 at a time, but I only have 1 needle. How's that working for me? Not so good. So yeah, so I have to find another needle. I just don't have the tips right now. So, but that was my intent. And I'm keeping this in this beautiful bag. That's also black and white. With my little white sheet and black background. Love it. Thank you. Thank you again, Pauline. It's very, very sweet that you thought of me and sent it to me. Really appreciate it. All right. Let's see. What do we got now? Hold that thought. Okay. Sorry about that. I had to sneeze. I have some alpaca that went up my nose. I'll show you a little bit on my snow cone shawl. I've done a little bit. I was there. I put in 1 whole row of Mandy's yarn, mouse switch yarn, and I think this is Wales, somewhere in Wales. Let's see if I can show you this a little bit better, holding it. Yeah. Anyway, it's I haven't done a lot, but I've got this much on my last little ball that was cut. I don't know whether you remember me talking about this, but this was some Mad Tosh that had 3 distinct cuts in it. So I made little balls, and I've now used those little balls. So I'll be on to the regular yarn from here on out. All right, where I go from here is I do this next white, and then this will go on. Can you see that? That picks up the color in this. You can see it, yeah. And then the white goes in, and then it will go to a pinkish. Now, since I talked to you last, I changed all that, I think. But we'll see. We'll see. It'll always be a surprise, right? But that's the plan as of today. So I'd like to get 1 more color in that today and go from there. But that is the snow cone shawl. I am enjoying it. There's a lot of texture to it and a couple errors, just so you know, if you do purchase the pattern. I don't believe Casipinka does test knitting. So, and that's from somebody in the industry that kind of knows that. Anyway, so I've worked a little bit on that. All right, I think that's it for the WIPs. Now, I did talk to you about the Wacka-WIP. Basically, 12 WIPs, or in some cases, 2 WIPs per month. So there's about 16 things on there, which is just good. I have about 25 WIPs right now. It's okay. It's all right. I'm going to do what I want this year. Yeah. Not gonna feel guilty. I don't think. All right. You know that make 9, it was make 4 last year in 2024. Well, I'm still gonna hope spring's eternal. I'm gonna work on my make 9. All right, the first one is a vest. And this is called the Moonset Slipover. And of course, I don't have that one in front of me because it's bagged up. But it's a simple stockinette vest, and it's made with a DK weight. And I think I would use that quite a bit in the fall, winter here in Florida. I'm sorry for the black and white. I'll put all the links below. I'll work hard today and put those on there so that you can take a look at them if you're at all interested. And of course, you know the famous Wisdom of the Moon shawl. I will finish that this year. Yes, that's on my Wacka-WIP. So that will get finished. Eva cardigan, which I finished, oh, I wish, that I started last winter about this time. And I got to the end of the raglan, not yet split for sleeves. So I'd really like to work on that. This is my brown cardigan. This is, don't remember the name of it, but it's a free pattern. And I will put these in the links. And this is a new one. This is a shawl. Let me grab the pattern here. I think I pulled it out of here. Hold on. Sorry about that. Organized, but not really. This is the Jarrell shawl. This is by Martha Wissing. I always want to call her Wissing for some reason. It's a very simple shawl. It's going to be 2 sock yarns held together. And this is one of the yarns that I've picked out. And I think I'd like to, I have some silk alpaca that's a lime green. That doesn't call for it, but I'm thinking I'm going to use it. I just need to locate it and put it with this, and that will be one of my new cast on this year. All right. This next one is a sock pattern. Now I put that down here. Hold on. Oy vey. You know, it's called Rainbows for Kaylan. That's what the socks look like. And I have some rainbow yarn here that I will likely use. Let's see if I can get some more light in here. Hold that. I don't know if that'll be any better or not, but yeah, it was sunny when I first started, and so I closed my plantation shutters, and anyway, so this is by the designer Laura Salisbury, and this is, she has a hand dyeing company, and it's called Always Be Kind, and her daughter battled with mental illness for many years, and unfortunately she passed in 2020 at the age of 25. So she does this dyeing and this pattern for awareness, and I believe she gives a lot of her money to suicide awareness and prevention. So, and I like that on her patterns, she also gives you information of where to call if you know somebody that's having struggles. She has a suicide hotline on here that you can call, or a website. So there's also a text number. So if you know of anybody that is having difficulty in these gray days, either now or ahead, they can text, I'm assuming this is only the United States, 741741 to talk to a crisis counselor via text. And the 800 number in the US is 1-800-273-TALK, which is 8255. So I will be casting these on. And again, I have rainbow yarn kind of right there, ready to rock and roll. So that will be one of my make nines. Okay, so we've talked about 6. Here we are back with the Dingley D, I don't know, Isabelle Kramer. I want to make this tee. I don't know that I'm making it striped, but I am going to make this tee. That's one of the ones that I really wanted to make last year. Okay, and the 2 new ones here. This one is called Mrs. Watson. You really can't see much of it, so I'm going to show you the pattern. It is by Martina Behm, who we all know is a creative genius. And where did I put that pattern? Not big enough space. See, it's in my pile of patterns here. I just need to find it, and it's right on top. And it's in a horribly, but I intend to make this in a black and white, because I've been wanting to make a black and white shawl for a bit. Now, it looks peppermint green right now, but that's what the shawl looks like. Just a fascinating, play on color, even though it won't be color. But I've been wanting a black and white shawl. It goes with everything. And I have some very dark charcoal gray sock yarn. In fact, I think it's right there. And the white is just undyed. And that's what I will be using for this. So that will be one of my casts on for the year. And again, too many papers. Too many papers, not enough brain power. And the last one that we have here, which really is not a very good picture at all. And that's called Linen Soup. It is a shawl pattern, and it's in the linen stitch, which I've been wanting to learn to do well. I learned how to do it a few years ago, but tension is difficult for me in this particular pattern, and I ripped it all out. So it is an asymmetrical shawl, and she's doing it in scraps. She talks about weighing scraps and, all of that. I don't know what I will be doing. That seems like a great idea. We'll see how that goes. But this is something that I really would love to do. This would probably be my last thing to cast on of all of my Make 9. We'll see. We'll see how that all happens. Yeah, at least it's not all sweaters this year. Just 4 of them, something like that. I did 5 sweaters last year, so it is possible. And 2 of them are already cast on. So that's, yeah. I should have put a couple and my Wisdom in the Moon is probably 1/3 of the way. Nah, 1/4 of the way. So So that's my make 9 for the year. Now, last year I added an extra feature that I was going to do some techniques. Some of these are the same because I didn't do them last year. I left Cardigan because I still haven't been successful in finishing that cardigan. We've got design a shawl. That's one of the things that I would like to do this year. Cables. I want to do something with cables, and it will likely be a scarf for my son-in-law. Jogless stripes, which I did do in one of my things last year, but I felt like I did not master it at all. Color work, I'm working on at the present time. Tubular bind off. There was something that I'm shaking you right now. Get my elbow off there. Sorry about that. Dramamine. It was a Christmas item that I was going to do, that the tubular cast off, and I really needed to get it in the mail. So that went by the wayside. But that's something that I really want to try to do this year and master. The Latvian braid, which is on the Wisdom and Moon shawl. Brioche. I'm gonna learn that. This is the 3rd year that I've kind of avoided it. And one of the reasons that I think I've avoided it is I live in Florida. There would be one day a year that I might be able to use something of brioche. So I kind of look at that and think, okay, my kids will felt it. So I don't know. So I'm going to try to find a pattern that is extremely easy, a cowl, something that when we go to Newport, Rhode Island, that I can throw in and do. And I want to really learn to crochet. There are many of my knit friends here that have offered to do that, and I am going to take them up on it. During my recovery, I think one of the things that I'd like to try is have one of them come over and try to be patient and, with me and not just give up on me and try to teach me how to do this. So anyway, those are my make 9s. What do you think? Do you think I'll accomplish all of them? It's good to have goals. And then, of course, I've got other patterns that, like this. Yeah. It will happen. And I've got a sweater's worth of Lion brand cotton yarn that the Autumn League pullover is really made of in the pattern, the original pattern. And I really want to cast that on this year. So, but it's really hard not to want to do it all. But I do have to finish some of these other sweaters that I have on the needles. And I also have 3 tees that are in various staring at me every single day. But I put them on the back burner because I want to get some of these other winter-ish projects accomplished. It's my rationale. What's yours? Anyway, this year I've decided that let me go back. I feel like it's going to be a real hard year for me personally. There's a lot of reasons that go into that, but I'm scheduled for a knee replacement 3 weeks from now. And I think that recovery is going to be challenging. I think I'll be fine, but it's going to be very challenging. So I need to have things that make and give me joy. And what things give me joy? Well, my children, Luke, my dogs, knitting, yarn, yeah, so I'm not going to be real hard on myself this year about much of anything. And as Karen at Bobblehead Knits says, I think her thing is, I'm going to buy whatever the hell I want, you know. So I get it. I don't need to buy anything more. All of that. Plus, there's some more down here. And my minis are stretched out here so I can see them. But life is short. I will have a birthday this year that's kind of a Hallmark year, and I think, okay, there's not 40 years left. And while I don't want to buy things, if there's a class that requires me to buy yarn for a project, I will do it and not feel guilty. I'm going to try to use up what I have as best I can. I may destash it. I may come on here one day and say, you know, I've got a sweater's worth of, is there anybody out there that would like to have this? If you do, email me. You never know. I don't know. I don't know. I have beautiful yarns. I have very few yarns that have come from places that don't carry luxury yarns, if that makes sense. I don't have a lot of acrylic. I don't care to use acrylic. You know, part acrylic is fine, but like Red Heart, I don't own any of that because I don't like the feel of it. And it makes me sweat. So I like things that breathe. So I have good stuff. I just need to use it. And I'm not going to beat myself up if I don't use it. And I'm not going to beat myself up if I buy new. I'm just not going to do that. I am going to try to restrain myself, but I'm also going to do things that bring me joy. So that if I get to the point where one of these projects is not giving me joy, I won't feel guilty about it. I'm not. And I just think there's too little joy in the world, and that joy needs to be a part of our hobby. Yeah. So enjoy what you have. We're all pretty blessed to have what we have. We may not have it at some point in our lives. So enjoy what you have. Use what you have if you can. And if it brings you joy and you can afford it, buy it. Life is short. So, on that note, I'm going to leave you today, and I'll be back in a few days to discuss my cruise, the retreat, all of the things that I did back in the fall. Knit in peace.